the size of our economy. As the former masters of Hong Kong, do we have any leverage at all over the Chinese when it comes to human rights in Hong Kong?
Well, if you define it entirely in terms of economic weight and demographic weight, then you'd say no. But there are other things in life that matter as well. Your way of life, the extent to which people want to copy you and give you some credibility for your soft power, as it were, the extent to which people admire you and admire what you stand for. If you're just throwing your weight around, then I suppose you could say, which is more or less the Chinese ambassador's view. You know, you're global. You're trying to be global Britain. You're leaving Europe. You better be careful how you behave, otherwise we won't do any trade deals with you. That's his bullying reaction.
But is China able to bully the United Kingdom?
It shouldn't be. People are only able to bully you if you're prepared to be bullied.
Are we prepared to be bullied?
I very much hope not. But it would be really worrying if we seem to be put in a place, for example, where we have to choose between going along with everything the Chinese Xi Jinping has to say or going along with everything that President Trump has to say about chlorinated chickens or whatever. I mean, it's not a very happy position.
We do seem to be caught between chlorinated chicken and Huawei at the moment, don't we?
Well, that is argued. I mean, I don't have the technical expertise, and I'm still one of those eccentric politicians who believes in experts. But what is absolutely true is, first of all, the Chinese wouldn't let us or a Western company or any company outside do the same thing in reverse. And secondly, what's also true is that whatever decision we take at the end of the day, we shouldn't take it because we trust China. You can't trust China. We may think we can trust Huawei and the controls that are put in place by our own cyber security experts. But don't let anybody kid themselves that you can depend on the word of the Chinese Communist Party of Beijing.
But Brexit Britain, divorced from the club of the European Union, will have to choose, won't it, on several occasions, between satisfying China and satisfying Donald Trump's America. And given the fact that those two don't get on particularly well, that'll put us in a rather difficult position, won't it?
Yes, it will. It's one reason why it makes nonsense to talk about us having a terrific independent trade policy, where you do much better as a trading power, which we have been, when you're working with others. No, I think that it's a delusion to think that we're going to do better outside the European Union in trade terms because we'll be able to cut fantastic deals with China and America. Forget about it.
And yet this is a position that 80% of Tory members believe in, and the majority of the parliamentary party. So let me ask you this. In the forthcoming European elections, will you be voting for your own party, for the Tory party?
It would very much depend on who the candidates are. I couldn't conceivably vote for somebody who was a member of the European Reform Group, or whatever it's called. I couldn't vote for anybody who believed that no deal was better than trying to negotiate a deal with the European Union.
Which means that you might not vote Tory at the next election.
Well, it depends on who the candidates are. I can certainly think of some candidates I couldn't conceivably vote for, not because I've left the Conservative Party, but because part of the Conservative Party has left people like me. What's happened in the Conservative Party was the number of members has become smaller, and as it's become smaller and older, it's become more extreme. And as it's become more extreme, it's got smaller. Somebody said to me the other day that nowadays you could fit the Conservative activists in Wembley Stadium, to which the obvious response is, maybe, but they'd have difficulty with the steps, because they're not only fewer of them, but they're older, and they've got views that largely are formed by reading the Daily Telegraph every morning.
Chris Patten, thanks very much.
Thank you.
After the break.